Welcome to the Highly Evolved Male Summit. I'm your host, Ethan Nukelta, and today we have Michael Tranmer, a high-performance life coach, speaker, engineer, and author of the upcoming book, Satori Ananda Awaken to Happiness. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Ethan. Super stoked to be here. Super grateful to be part of this huge, impressive crew of people that you're interviewing, and just grateful for folks like you who are taking the time and the effort and the energy to put this all together. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how much work and planning this takes, but people should just know off the start that what you're doing is super impactful, super powerful, and listen to all the other interviews as well, because there are some rock stars in there with some great messages. I know some of them personally. I know PJ, he's a great guy, so I can't wait to hear his especially. So happy to be here.
Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. We are very grateful to have you, so thank you. So I know that you have had some pretty big transitions in your life. Can you tell us a little bit what it was like before you were in the whole coaching sort of business?
Yeah, so my story is I'm here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Been out in BC for almost half my life now. I'm from Kingston, Ontario, back east in Canada. And I was living an amazing life, right? Been working as an engineer for over 12 years. Had the engineering job, had the beautiful condo, had the wife, and she had her professional job as well, and we were going and sailing down along that pretty put together path, or so it seemed. And somewhere along the way, we lost our way, we lost our path, we lost our communication, we developed different dreams, and then all of a sudden, very quickly, the marriage came to an end at the end of November 2017.
Wow.
And so what seemingly was this smooth, really, really good path that I was on, all of a sudden was gone. Right. And it was a complete blank canvas, which was a lot for me to process. And that was, something that I did not expect was going to happen, something neither of us wanted to happen, but it happened. And it was truly, truly my low point, November 2017, and several months after that. So then what happened after that, it was really an awakening to my introduction to personal development, something that I knew zero about before then, and something that I wish I had spent many years being a part of. But it was really the beginning of my personal development journey. And along the way, I hired a coach of my own. I started working with her. I started first off, digging myself out of that low point, getting over being a victim of the end of the marriage, and then really getting clear on, now that I had this blank canvas, what I wanted to really create, because I could do whatever I want, right? Whatever I want. So it's getting clear on that, and then getting a vision of what I really wanted to do. And out of that, became me becoming a coach myself, me writing about this transformational journey, me getting on stages and speaking and inspiring others with my story. And fast forward a little bit of time, and that brings me sitting here with you. And there's a whole other number of stories packed up in there, but I'll drop it there for a sec.
Fair play. So tell us, so you were doing engineering, right? So you'd had this breakup in your marriage, which I want to get to in a minute, but you were doing engineering, and your life was, you're making decent money, and it's something you've studied for, so it's something you like. What was the drive out of engineering when a lot of people want a decent job that earns a wage, and that does, right? So what was the push? What was the drive?
Yeah, I mean, the drive out of it was just really, truly acknowledging that it never was my true calling. And, I tell the story about back talking to a counselor or a career counselor in high school when I was 17 or 18, and choosing which direction to go into. And my dad was an engineer. He went on to become a lawyer and now a judge. And his dad was an engineer. So that paved the path. But like, to be honest with you, I chose it because I was good at science. I was good at math. Ironically, I was very bad at English in high school. I'm not saying I'm super good at it now, but I have written a book. But I chose it because it was hard and I was good at it. And really that just set a path for the next 20 or so years. And once you get into that path that you're on, and you start making money and you're good at it, and there's definitely elements that I enjoy, it becomes very hard to get out of it. And so, I'm still involved in engineering these days. I do coaching within engineering now, which is super rewarding because I want to, the coaching that I do, I want to help me 5-10 years ago, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so then the drive to get out of engineering was really because you had a passion for this newfound passion for coaching then.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so obvious when I started working with a coach. Instantly, I started sharing everything that I was learning with my friends and my family around me, and then eventually clients soon after. And it was just, holy shit, right? This does not feel like work. So key. There's one thing anyone remembers from this interview, it's that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel like work and you're getting paid, that's the ticket right there. And it's been a lot of hard work, still is a lot of hard work to get from that transition from a very comfortable 6-figure engineering job to going out on your own. Very scary, but it's just that drive, and it's really a pull that's so obvious. Like, this is what you're good at. This is what helps the most people. This is the direction you need to figure out how to make it work. And it's just that simple.
Yeah, I totally relate because, I was doing, I used to do retail management, which was, let's be honest, it's not something that you really want to be doing. And then after that, I did, I was a support worker for people with learning disabilities and mental health. And that was great because I felt a sense of purpose. But then since then, I've been coached by proper coaches, leadership coaches and whatnot. And also I've had a spiritual awakening and all sorts. And my big drive has really been to align with what I'm here to do. And coaching has just totally blown my world apart. It's shown me how powerful we can be through, being shown the ropes, how to become that. So I can totally understand why you're choosing that over engineering. It really makes you the powerful person in your life to kind of create and manifest whatever you want. So you're not just stuck in one niche. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what rings for me, and that's what sings for you. But for some people, engineering sings for them, right? And that is what they are super passionate and they are driven to do, and that's their purpose and that passion to put, and any other number of different occupations that people can have. But the point is, you got to find what is the one for you, what really drives you. And people are always looking for this, right? It doesn't come easily.
No.
But you got to know that if you're looking for it, it means you're not there. You got to continue to, and that, I mean, obviously I can't say enough about coaching, but if you are out there, you're looking for your purpose, looking for a passion, you got to try something different. You got to take in some different thoughts and some different mindsets. And coaching is just one of many, many different ways you can do that. And the reason why, there's so many reasons why it's so good, but it just offers a different perspective into your world that really awakens and really makes different connections in your brain to help connect back to what really, sings in your heart.
Yeah, that's really key point, sort of what sings in your heart. And I found through my own experience that it's, a lot of the things I've been interested in, that, my passions have been kind of surface level stuff, which is great. It gives me that kind of surface, happiness. But then to find my purpose, I've really had to drill down. I still don't necessarily know what it is. Like my purpose kind of seems to change like as I go. But something that I really found was when I drilled down, it was actually the challenges that I had in my life that kind of became my purpose. So at this moment, my purpose is to deliver this highly evolved male summit. This is what it is at this moment, because those are some of the challenges that I've been through in my life. And I feel that if I can help other people in that scenario, then that's an amazing way to, you know, feel that joy from it and to give back. Right. But
same. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on, sir. What are you going to say?
Exact same thing. Like for me right now, my purpose is to keep telling my story to inspire others that are in dark places of their own. Yeah. And I don't have it. I mean, I have tough days every day as well. I don't have it. Nobody has it figured out. Let's put that out there right now.
Absolutely.
But for me, yeah, like same as you, I got to keep going with this. I got to get my book published and get it out there. I got to keep speaking on stages and telling my story. I got to help people through my coaching because I have been there, right? If you have that knowledge and that experience that can help someone get from where they are to where you are, you got to share it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of your challenges was obviously with your relationship or marriage breakup. So if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but
the best questions.
Was an aspect of the reason you broke up, was it because you weren't being a highly evolved or, you know, like a conscious male, a mature male? Was that an aspect of it?
100%. I didn't know these words: conscious, awareness, mindfulness. I did not know those words until a couple of years ago, and it's just a different frame of mind. Exactly. It was not having that awareness of the impact of certain things that I were having on others. That's all awareness is. And it's so powerful to have that now and to help other people realize that as well, because it's so important in all aspects of your life, in your relationship, in your work, in your entire day-to-day movements.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. It's so true. And for me, that was a massive revelation as well when this kind of information came to me. So as men, we are taught not to show emotion. We're told to, if we feel it, we kind of just like suppress it and whatnot. How did you deal with your deep wounds? You must have had deep wounds from this, right?
I dealt with it by lying on that carpet right over here in my condo and staring at the skylight in the dark, wet, cold Vancouver winters and crying my eyes out. I dealt with it by walking around out in the streets here with my hood up and my headphones on, crying it out. And I dealt with it by journaling, again, something I had never ever done before in my life. And as an engineer, I was trying to figure this out. Like I was trying to figure it out to be sure that I was never in that same position again, because it hurt so much that if there's any way that I could avoid getting back there, I was going to do it. And I had never ever journaled before this all happened. And it was the first thing I did. I have no idea what pulled me to do it, but I just had to get these thoughts. Well, that's what it was. I had to get these thoughts out of my head.
Yeah.
So I could get them on paper, so I could look at them, so I could try to figure it out, so I could process them, but so I wouldn't forget them as well, because there was just so much going on that I needed to get it out on a piece of paper to see and analyze it. So it was powerful.
Yeah. Journaling. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So often we can have these thoughts just going around our head, just going round and round and round, sort of, having that monkey mind. So journaling sounds like a great way of of getting it out of you. Definitely.
Yeah, and so like as a macho male who we're supposed to suppress our emotions and just put on a tough face, like things like journaling, things like meditation, things like yoga, things like crying in the street, whatever, man, bring it on. That's what worked for me. That's why I was able to, you know, recover quicker than most. If I had suppressed all of that and had been sitting here at the same table, angry and unhealthy and projecting unhealthy energy all around me, that is not a highly evolved male. A highly evolved male is dealing with your shit, figuring it out, and then helping other people to do the same. That, to me, is a highly evolved male.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. I think so often we've, as you say, been conditioned to suppress our emotions. At the same time, the macho men that you talk about, you know, we're always competing against each other. We've got to be the winner and whatever. And really just actually being brutally honest with our fellow brothers and being authentic can sometimes be the greatest medicine ever, you know. So yeah, absolutely. So tell us, you're writing this book. Tell us about your book that you're writing.
Yeah, the book's called Satori Ananda, which means awaken to happiness. And I got those two words out of reading Eckhart Tolle. I was reading him soon after the separation happened, because there was a lot going on in my mind, and I wanted to find peace. I wanted to find happiness. I wanted to learn how to be present. So I pulled those two words out of one of his books, and I actually got them. It was my first tattoo. I got it under my left arm. And that was only a couple months after the separation. And it wasn't until a couple months after that I really realized what the meaning was to me, and also that it was going to be the title of my book. And so in terms of the book is really me, it's really me sharing my journal and what happened. And it starts the day that the marriage ended, and it goes on over a series of 7 months as I went through my personal development journey, as I hired a coach, as I, had my highs and lows. And that's what this other tattoo here is. That's a wave on my forearm.
Oh, wow.
And so that was sort of halfway through this journey where I was really experiencing these really beautiful highs, these moments of bliss, these realizations and this clarity. A lot of people can relate to that. But then soon after, I would go back down into the dumps, right? So it was really a lot of this up and down, and what I was, what I wanted to do, and what I worked on when I hired a coach of my own was really pinning it on that high and having that sustained fulfillment, that sustained happiness, that sustained bliss. And that takes a lot of work, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So the book goes on a couple more months after that. I went on, I continued my journey, continued on a 2.5 month trip through Central America, where I actually started writing the book. I wrote it all by hand. And yeah, it was just another therapeutic way to go through and process everything that happened. And by sharing it and by putting it out there, I really believe that, if there's one person that it helps and that it benefits, then totally worth it.
That's so cool, man. That's a real way you're giving back there. But something that really resonates with me is your journey through Central America. Basically, I've done that as well. So I had a spiritual awakening, and shortly after that, a couple of weeks after, I went on a couple months journey through Central America. And oh my God, like all of my ego, all of the masks, everything collapsed. And I'm in another country, and it's like, I'm 12 years old again, and I'm having to deal with that. It was a painful but very beautiful process. But I think the biggest catalyst was the fact that I was out of my comfort zone. I was in another country, somewhere else. And, taking yourself out of your normal environment really is just a massive catalyst for that, for change and to see different perspectives.
100%. And that's what I say to people. That's the first thing I say to people when they tell me that they're stuck or they want to get to a new place. You have to do something new, something small. You don't have to go to Central America. It's great though. But you just have to change something in your daily routine. You have to go to a different grocery store. You have to walk a different way home from work. You have to go to a new restaurant. You have to just have new experiences, because these create new pathways in your brain. And if you keep walking down that same new pathway, you'll form a new connection. And then you'll change. You'll change who you are. If you're stuck and you want to change, you have to start with the little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we get to change our experiences, and through that we can change our way of being. So just changing up the conversation a little bit.
Sure.
So you're a coach. Can you give us some examples, like some case study examples of where, for instance, a way that you've maybe coached a man to be better in his, in terms of how he is as a masculine man?
Yeah, for sure. And really the people that I coach are individuals that have been in similar situations as me in the past, because I know how I've gotten to a new place. So this one individual, I started working with him soon after he had ended a long-term relationship, and he was lost. He was scared. He had low self-esteem. He didn't know where he was going. He needed a new path, right? And those are very hard places, and I've been there. And so through working with him, it's all the work I do, it's all on your mindset, right? It's all how you can reframe the picture you tell yourself. So it was getting him to believe in himself again, helping him get clear on who he wanted to be, helping him move on from this relationship that no longer served him. The worst possible thing is if he had been humming and hawing about it for 6 months, a year afterwards. No, it's over. You got to move on, and you got to get clear on what you want. And so by doing that, he became comfortable with himself. He started expressing himself more freely, more fully. He started living more his true, authentic life. So he started radiating this beautiful, beautiful energy within a very short period of time. And of course, soon after, he met, very soon after, a new beautiful partner that was just magnetized to this new energy that he was putting off. And so now already he is in a better relationship. Already he is, evolved, and he's learned from what didn't work in his last relationship. He's now focused on killing it at work, elevating and motivating and inspiring all of his employees. He's setting his sights on being one of the top people in his industry. And it's just the power of coaching and having someone who believes in you and then holds you accountable. It's magic.
Absolutely. And mindsets, as you say, limiting beliefs, and that is such a key piece. I know from my own experience, at points I've had what you'd call a victim consciousness, as you'd already know about, and like blaming everybody else or the government or whatever it is for your circumstances, and
everybody.
Actually, by doing that, we're creating is more of the same, right? We're just creating more stuff we don't want, whether that's the crap job or the trouble in your relationships. And from what you're saying, it's like if we can move into that energy of positive thinking as such, or belief and knowing, then we can then manifest whatever we want in our reality.
You have to focus your energy, it's a Socrates quote, not on fighting the old, but on creating the new. You can't, if you focus on all the things you don't want to happen, all the negatives, all other people's problems, the world happening to you, that's all that will continue to happen. But if you focus on what you want to create, the life you want to create, the version of you that you're moving towards, the people you want to be around, the work that you want to do, and if you hold that belief, if you hold it and you go towards it, that is the only way it will come true. There is a lot of hard work between A and B, 100%. But you need to keep your eyes going that way instead of stuck down here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sensing like a lot of the kind of problems that are coming up for men, or at least it did for me, was like the whole kind of lack of purpose, which is very close to kind of working a job that you're not interested in. And what I've noticed a lot of guys are doing at the moment is they're moving into this more entrepreneur game, right? I think some of the lads watching this are going to be like, okay, well, how the hell do I become an entrepreneur? Like, what do I need, a degree, or like, do I need qualifications for this? You're an entrepreneur yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have you any advice for any people on taking that path?
Yeah, advice number one is do not quit your day job, because all that will sorry, almost got you right while you're drinking. But yeah, because again, I've done this. I'm an entrepreneur. I had the steady job, and I didn't fully love it. Didn't love it every day. But step number one is do not quit your day job, because instantly that will apply a lot more financial stress. Don't quit your day job without, having a good plan in place or already being a little further down the line. But the truth is, just like I said before, don't focus all your energy on what you don't like. Don't focus all your energy on the job that you don't like. Focus your spare time, your energy when you're not at work, on what you want to create, on trying something new, on being an entrepreneur, on making money on this crazy thing called the internet. And that, like, a whole bunch of 16 and 17-year-olds have figured out. And, if they can figure it out, a lot more of us can as well. But it's a hustle, right? And you just have to be very conscious of how you spend your spare time. Do you want to spend it hungover? Do you want to spend it going out to the same crappy places on the weekend? Or do you want to spend that time purposefully trying something new? What you try first in your entrepreneurial journey may not work, but at least you're trying it, and you're going to learn a lot more if it doesn't work. So be grateful either way.
Yeah, absolutely. The internet is, like, in my opinion, it's a real game changer for the entire world, right? I mean, previous to this, we were like trying to get degrees and all of this sort of thing, qualifications to work our way up in corporate business, which, is one way of doing it if you want. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but I think the way that the world is going, the market's changing. There's uncertainty, and if you can be sovereign in your business and do something that is, really aligned with who you are and what you want to do and what you want to be, then there's never been more opportunity than there is now.
Yeah.
So
at the same time, we need people to go through school and become doctors and become lawyers and become engineers. So it's also a real opportunity for large organizations and corporations out there to identify this, be aware of what people want, what millennials want. I work and I coach a lot on millennials, professional millennials, and I help their organizations keep them happy, right? Make their lifestyle at work somewhat like being an entrepreneur, give them a lot of power. And so it's not like everyone quit your job. It's like a lot of fine tuning going on, so we can all be happy and purposeful in how we spend our time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with any kind of change, there's like that transition period between between you having the idea and it kind of coming into full fruition, which can be a little bit rocky as such, whatever you're doing. And if you're attempting to become an entrepreneur or something, then I would agree with quitting your job straight out is probably not the best idea. Have some jobs lined up or something. But either way, it's going to be it's going to be some trials and tribulations, and sometimes they're actually what you're being called forward to kind of to take that challenge sometimes, to kind of to better yourself and walk through that challenge. If it doesn't kill you, then it can only make you stronger. So
100%. And like I have this exact conversation with myself about 4 times a week, because I'm facing challenges all the time. But I can't coach someone to become an entrepreneur and tell them it's super easy. That doesn't work. That is not true. So, but I have to remind myself that every one of these challenges that I have is purposeful, and it's going to help me become stronger, and it's going to help me be a better coach when I coach entrepreneurs and they hit their roadblocks. But it's exactly like you said, you have to keep going to what you're trying to create. You have to have that belief that it's going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, if you're in your daily life, right, because we all get this, we start off, you know, with great intent. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then we hit a challenge, and you know, we have our fears come up, or our overwhelm, or maybe we procrastinate because we're like, oh, well, I'm putting this off a bit, we're resistant. You know, do you have any particular strategies that can help you move through that and achieve your goal and commitments?
Yeah, it's two things. They're both on mindset. Everything is mindset. Two things, both on mindset. So the first thing is to shift your mindset and look at it more like a learning opportunity. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So this challenge sucks, but this challenge is going to teach me something. And then you're grateful. Then you're getting an education. Then you've learned something. Then you're an expert on how to overcome that challenge. Then you can help someone else when they hit that challenge. So that's number one, to reframe it. Number two, and I did this, just actually launched a video about this week, is when you hit a wall, or you go a certain way, or you're going down a certain path and it doesn't work and you hit resistance, perhaps that was not the right path. That was not the exact right way to go. And so all you have to do is do a little pivot and keep going. Right? Can you imagine if you're on a road and you go and you're driving straight down the road and there's a huge rock in the middle of the road? You can't get around it. But if you just turn a little to the right and keep going, you're golden. And so it's really just that. It's a pivot and just an acknowledgement that, okay, that did not work out. That was tough. But perhaps that was because that was the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
And I need to make a little turn and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the key word is to keep going. Because you never know what is around that next corner, and that could be your huge, huge breakthrough.
Yes, absolutely. So like it's a cross between kind of not being in so much resistance that you're kind of swimming upstream, but then you are kind of you're making sure that you're going in the right direction, so you're in flow. But then at the same time, you know, when you do hit some challenges in life, you're strong enough to kind of push through that and keep going, basically.
Yeah, so it's a lot of strength, right? And that's why, you know, I'm very physically active, because that, you know, helps me get through a pain threshold. So it's the strength, but it's also really that belief in your idea, that belief in yourself, that belief in what you're doing is going to be good for the greater good, for the rest of the world, for all the people. And that's the part that pulls us. Like, that is not pushing against the current. That is being in the current and getting pulled towards it. That is the big difference. And so because I was there. And so if I was there, I was swimming upstream for a decade. That sucks. That sucked. And if I had some coach shake me in the right way a decade ago, that would have been very helpful. But that didn't happen. And that's okay, right? And now I know I can relate to that pain and that struggle that other people go through, and I can help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a coach is a very, very important thing, and I can definitely tell you that. If it wasn't for having a coach, then I'd probably been in a very different place.
You would not be sitting right here interviewing me. I guarantee you that.
No, I wouldn't. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up very soon. Have we covered everything, or is there anything that we've left out? Yeah, I can't think of anything at this moment. I don't know if you can.
No, we hit most of the major ones.
Excellent. So in that case, we shall finish it off. Can you tell us about your free gift?
Oh, can you remind me about my free gift?
Yes, the title of your free
I've been
gift.
giving away a lot of free gifts lately.
That's all good. It's the 2019 Goal Planning Roadmap.
Thank you. Yeah, I love giving things away. I just can't remember them all. However, yeah, so let me tell you about this. I actually am pretty proud of this, and I find it because I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it lately. So I put this together in a couple days over Christmas of last year because I wanted to have something simplified. I'm an engineer, so I need things in a specific way. But I wanted to have a process to go through to plan out my next year. And I know goal planning is not too sexy, but you know what is sexy is when you hit your goals. That is sexy. So I wanted to have a process to go through and think about all I wanted to achieve. And I wanted to have a couple steps later to narrow it down. And then I wanted to put some more steps after that on to get really crystal clear on the action steps that needed to be taken. So I developed this document, and in the end, it really simplifies down to one page. You've got the 5 things you want to achieve this year. And below that, there's this part where they're your bigger dreams and the things that you and I know we both have that will take longer than next year. But it's very important to write them down and put them on paper and have them right in front of you and this is the one piece of paper, page 6 out of 7 in this document, that I tell people, I suggest that you look at this page before you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning, and then you spend the time in between thinking about it and working towards it. 80% of those things will come true.
Yeah.
80% will come true. So this free gift, it's great. I'm using it every day. It's best if you take a couple hours, really think about it, undisturbed hours, and go through it and think about all that you want to achieve in 2019. But yeah, just get it at my website, michaeltranmer.com. It's sent to you instantly. So yeah, excellent. Thank you for reminding me about that.
That's all right. Yeah, and on that point, I've personally found, and I've started doing it in the last year or so, really focusing your intention, which is what your product is doing, right? It's helping you focus your intention so that then you can be committed towards your goals and your targets. And, if you don't do that, then really you're just scattered and you're not going to achieve it, right? So to the viewers, download that and get on it. It's going to help you massively. And I know that myself because I do it now as well. But
yeah, I've really taken things to the next level now where I have an intention for everything I do. If I am going to spend the next 2 hours walking to a grocery store and getting groceries, like that's just one part. I am like, how can I make this time enjoyable and productive? Maybe I'll get on a phone call with someone, or maybe I'll listen to a podcast, or I'll just have a different intention for all the awake hours that I have during the day. And then when I go to sleep, I give my subconscious an intention to work on and think about. And they're just so many different things and so many different tips and tricks that we can apply to our mind to really, really get the most out of it.
Love it. So yeah, thank you, Michael. You have been an absolute star, a good laugh, and it's been great kind of listening to your wisdom and your journey, your story. So thank you so much for being on here. Thank you for being generous and giving away this free gift as well. It's a great resource.
Yeah, my pleasure, Ethan. And again, just so grateful to you and your team and everyone that's helping you out. And I know that you have the belief that what you're putting together here, this whole summit, there's something behind it, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, thank you for listening as well, and tune in for another amazing interview tomorrow. So yeah, peace and love.
Peace and love.